Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Today we're talking to you guys about why girls hurt good guys. Why guys get hurt, or good guys get hurt by girls, okay? And we're going to talk about breaking security protocol, okay? This is number one in the series of a few videos I'm going to drop, okay? Ladies, pay attention to this. Man, them, pay attention to this, okay? Everybody's got something to learn from this situation. So let's talk about some real stuff today. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the what uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's really talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, breaking security protocols. I want to let you know, listen, when it comes to dating, when it comes to relationship, there are protocols that must be put in place. There are procedures that must be put into place, okay? When we're dealing with these particular issues, okay, it's important to understand that protocols or procedures, they actually are, I would call a boundary. So let me define what protocol is. The official procedure of a system or a system of rules governing affairs or of a state or diplomatic occasion. Okay, let me say that again. Protocol is the official procedure or system of rules governing affairs of a state or diplomatic occasions. Let me define what procedure is. It is an act or a manner of proceeding in an action or a process of conduct. In relationships, there is a way that we should act. There's a manner of proceeding forward in relationships. Let me give you an example. When I used to work in banking, we used to have protocols or procedures, if you want to call it that, as a way of dealing with customers, okay, when it comes to withdrawing money from their account. Now, most people are genuine customers, but it comes a time where a customer may forget their card. Now, when they forget their card, it makes it a little bit more difficult. You have to present ID. And at times, some people who come into that bank really aren't real customers. They're con men, okay? And some con men, okay, the thing about a con man is that they have a mindset of premeditated thought to take advantage of a system. But when you have protocols, let me read protocol again. The definition of protocol was the official procedure or system of rules governing affairs of state or diplomatic occasions. The governing of rules or affairs here is you. You are your government. You are your state of affairs. You are your kingdom and domain. And how things should run is how you operate in relationships, how you want it to run. The problem with good guys is the way they run their affairs. They don't have effective procedures and protocols. They actually break their procedures and protocols. I'm talking about good guys now. Listen to what I'm saying. Good guys, not men. Good guys. This term that we talk about, good guys. Let me define what good guy is. Good guy is that guy is a nice guy, you know. He's a good guy and he just seems to be like, you know, everything about him is nice, yeah? And the reason why nice guys get taken advantage of is because they don't have effective governance of their domain. So when people come into their domain, they take advantage because the protocols and the procedures are poor. You people, please. And we're going to break all of this down in the next few series of episodes, okay? So I want you guys to tune in. But let's go back to it. In the bank, we have procedures that we had to follow before we can take money out, whether you had your card or not. Now, there's extra procedures when you didn't have your card. So let's talk about that. When you didn't have your card and you came to a teller, someone who's a cashier, someone who's at the till, okay, and you didn't have your card, there will be a procedure for me to follow in order to be able to release funds to you. I had to prove who you were, and then you had to answer a few questions, and then I can get into your account and then release a certain amount of money to you. Okay? Now, when those procedures are followed appropriately and correctly, okay, 9 times out of 10, yeah, if not 10, yeah, a con man won't survive. Okay, because the procedure has been refined and renewed and has been made robust, that a con man has to be a very elaborate con man. I mean, that con man has to work some different type of magic, and we'll talk about that in another episode where we talk about how certain bad gal work on certain good guys. It's a form of almost like a narcissism, right? The way they behave, right? But that's completely different. So when there's effective procedures in place, when you have effective boundaries in your dating life and you go into relationships, those con women who come into your life cannot take advantage of your money. They can't take advantage of your heart. They can't take advantage of your life that you lead, because you have protocols and procedures that they must follow. And when a con man sees there's an effective security and safety procedures in place, they often go elsewhere because they are looking for a chink in the armor. Okay? And so when you don't give them the chink in the armor, the vulnerability of your system, which is that whenever you say something, good guys, whenever you say something, it's law and you operate by it, they don't take advantage. People take advantage of people who say things and then don't follow through because you're showing vulnerability. Okay, so in the bank, you might meet someone who's trying to take money out, okay, and purposely trying to defraud you, but the procedures are in place to protect yourself, who's a cashier, right? Imagine this: you are the cashier. Good guys, you are the cashier, and that person who's coming to you, the con woman, is a woman that you're saying that likes you, or you like the person. They have to prove themselves, as do you, but I'm saying that they have to prove themselves that they're not this con person. Okay, that's why I said, women, listen to this, because this is also for you. This is a way for you as well to be able to say about men. All right, if they're trash, you'll know. You will know because you're going to test them. Right, and when I say test them, doesn't mean literally test them, but you have procedures and protocol in place that will mean that anybody who's not real oftentimes get exited from the plan. Now, there were other people that come to the bank when they lose their car, that maybe an opportunity presents itself, and let's say, for instance, I as a cashier typed in the wrong details on the system, all right, and it was someone else's account, and maybe they might take advantage of that, right? But that's an error on my part. Deep it. Number two, there's a person that comes in who may be a genuine customer but gets frustrated about the actual procedures that are in place because they really want to get the money out, but because they haven't got the right ID or whatever, we have to refuse them entry and refuse them cash. What am I saying? The opportunist and the person who's frustrated about the procedure, okay, are not premeditated and thought. Con men, con women, okay, those people who are coming to take money from someone else's account purposely have thought it through. It's premeditated. The opportunist and the person who's frustrated about procedures are not trying to come in. The opportunist, first of all, is taking advantage of an environment. Okay. Let me break down what the opportunist is. The opportunist type of girl, okay, when they meet the good guy, is that maybe you've been hurt in the past. Had you met a guy that had good, effective boundaries, because protocols and procedures are boundaries in relationships. Let me say it again. Protocols and procedures are boundaries when it comes to relationships. Had that girl met a guy with a good boundary, the opportunist girl, she would have never taken advantage because he's not premeditated. She's not trying to take advantage, but she sensed an opportunity here and took advantage. There's a big difference. Yeah? A bit like when you walk into a shop and the boss man's not there and the shop is empty. You take a chocolate bar and you run out. Opportunist, you weren't coming in there to take it. You had money to pay, and then you realize there was an opportunity to take advantage, and you did. Okay? Then the person who gets frustrated about the procedures, I would describe them as a woman who is not self-aware of the fact that they have problems. And this is probably the one I want to focus on the most, because I think a lot of women are in the basket of not aware of their problems. Okay, they've been hurt by guys time and time again, and what happens is, unfortunately, not being self-aware, they enter into new relationships carrying that baggage, and they are throwing blows left, right, and center, frustrated by someone who's a good guy, right? And they end up hurting that good guy. It's usually these type of girls that hurt the good guys. The con man and the opportunist, they come, but they're not often the ones. The ones that really hurt girls are the ones that really hurt the good guys are often the ones who are unaware that they are carrying poison. They're unaware they're carrying poison. Okay, all right. And when they meet a guy who hasn't got good procedure and good protocols, unaware and unbeknown to them, they end up hurting the good guy. They don't want to hurt the good guy. They don't want to, but they can't help themselves, it seems like, because they have not been taught and they're not aware of the poison that they carry. So what am I talking about here? What I'm trying to tell you as a good guy, right, is that you must get to a place where you have effective protocol, effective boundaries, to put it more bluntly. Okay? See, the problem with good guys is this. They ignore protocol. They ignore procedures that are there to protect them. That's their first issue. Number two, they feel bad enforcing these procedures and protocols in their relationships, in dating and stuff, right? So when they meet con man or the opportunist or the girl who's unaware, they get hit with all three because they don't even like enforcing those boundaries. And you know why? And the reason why they don't like enforcing it is because they think they will win the heart of the individual by being loving, without bringing the idea of showing boundaries to help that girl understand I have a standard. Okay? So these good guys, although they're good, they're naive. They're really thinking that life is about being good and that's what you'll get. Listen, life is hard out here, baby. Life is hard out here, baby. Okay? Number four, they end up playing the victim card. What I mean by that is they end up having a victim complex, which is basically that you start to think that the whole world is against you. Everybody else's fault. No, when a teller, okay, ends up giving money to someone who's a con man, they look at the procedures. Did you follow the procedures? Or an opportunist, sorry. They look at, did you follow procedures? Because if you did, the bank can protect you. Because in that case, I did everything by the book. It's just that person was better, a con man, than the procedures. That's completely different, and that's very rare. The majority of the time is your procedures and your boundaries and your protocols are not you're not operating with a proper or a set protocol procedure to protect yourself. You're running on emotions. Good guys use understanding and empathy to break protocol. So when there's protocols in place, red flags you call it, right? You have those things popping off and shooting off. Instead of listening to the red flags, you say to yourself, oh no, I'm trying to understand her. Or no, I'm trying to get to understand, I'm trying to empathize with her position. She's been through a lot in her past life. I don't care. When you're in the bank, you do not care what the person's, I don't care if it's your last formula milk. Unfortunately, there is procedure and I have to go by it. Why? Because if you are a con man, if you are an opportunist, unfortunately, what will happen is you'll get away scot-free, but I will get in trouble. And guess what? You operate the same way in your relationship. When you decide, oh, okay, I'm going to ignore the protocols and the boundaries and the procedures I've put in place, empathizing with you, okay, and understanding you. And now I'm in a situation where I'm hurt. And then I'm saying all women are bad. All women are bad? Are you sure? Are you sure? You want to blame all women, or you want to start looking at yourself? Because eventually there's a common denominator if you're in the same position. And we're going to talk about this as well in another video. There's a common denominator. It's you. You need to refine it. If it's the first time it happens, yeah, we can say naive. Sorry. The second and third time, you have to review your procedures. Have to review your procedures. Yeah. The second and third time it happens, and I'm not talking about necessarily cheating, although cheating can be sometimes systematic of some of the procedures and protocols that we have that have been broken. But there's a lot of times where men just do what they want to do and women just do what they want to do. They cheat. Yeah. When you have effective protocol in place, there may be a girl who unfortunately is unaware, but that girl, if she's switched on, and when I say switched on, that she really, really likes you and actually really genuinely cares for you, and actually she starts to learn on the job, yeah? The protocols and procedures she'll begin to love. Why? Because she feels safe. It's not for everybody. The procedures and protocols are for you, the banker, the teller, but they are also for the customer. Because when you put that in place, that person who's coming to your till has two things to do. Either they're going to yield to the protocols and procedures that you put in place about your life, or they go and say, look, I don't want to be here. I'm going to go to another bank, right? And they're going to go and cuss about it, right? And they're going to go and cuss it and go to another bank. And should they meet another procedure and protocol, they will start to learn that people have standards. I can't just behave the way I was behaving. Or someone else will be their victim. Do you get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it shouldn't be you. Because you have a standard, you have protocols, and you have procedures in place that you put robustly and you follow it. robustly. Okay? Yeah? And the consequences attached to them, you operate in them too. So this is number one. Okay, this is series 1. Do not break security protocol because you feel sorry for them. Do not break security protocol because you understand them. Do not break security protocol because you want to be nice. Do not break security protocol because you're a people pleaser. Do not break it. You have set it as a procedure and a boundary for a reason. Do not betray yourself, because the bank will get robbed. The bank will be scammed and the bank will be defrauded if you allow yourself to break procedure and protocol. Yeah. And the only time that, for instance, in the bank, when we didn't have to struggle with ID and procedure per se, is when we built up a relationship with that person to a point. I know you, right? And when I know your account details, I know what your name is, I know everything like that. So now when you come to you and you tell me you haven't got your card, yeah, we used to say a thing where you say, I can vouch for that person. Why? Because I know your name, I know where you live, I know about you, you've come with your ID beforehand. Listen to this. The person has come with their card before. They've come with their ID before. They've taken money out of their account several times at the till with the right procedures in place at the time they've done it. So now we know this is you. We know this is you. Many of you are giving trust to people who have not earned trust. And when I say trust, it doesn't mean that when we get into a relationship, I must be looking for every situation. No. It means at the beginning of when I'm getting to know you, I don't give you everything. I don't give you my full heart. I don't throw myself into it. I don't surrender myself in totality to you. I don't know who you are. You could be crazy. And now your bank is getting robbed because you didn't follow procedure. So good guys, stop trying to use your good guys as a cover. Be real with yourself. What are your procedures? What are your protocols? What I mean by that is, what is the boundaries that you have in place? What is acceptable and what's not acceptable for you? And if you don't know, it's time to sit down and figure that out. Guys, like, share, subscribe, clicking that bell button for notification of the uploads as well. Please, as well, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start rendering these as a podcast. So I'll just take the audio from it so you guys can listen to this on the go as well. Okay. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads, and don't forget to join our Patreon, Little Black But 91 as well for more great content.